Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about The Crow, the 2024 reboot. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. Okay. So, The Crow 2024, it is a reboot of the original movie, which came out in 1994. So, there's an exact 30-year difference between the two. And here is the original right here. And most people know about this movie mainly because of what happened to Brandon Lee during filming. And what happened is that Brandon Lee died. I'm not making that up. That's actually what happened. He was killed via a prop gun that apparently wasn't looked at thoroughly enough. And yeah, it shot him, and it was a fatal wound, and he died. So yeah, it's very sad, tragic, fucked up that happened. Like, and the thing is that the movie was this wasn't a situation where the movie was like already like done, like what happened with like The Dark Knight, because that movie was already filmed and everything when Heath Ledger tragically passed away. This was more like a Furious 7 situation where one of your lead actors, in the case of here, the lead actor died as the movie was, in production. So in a situation like that, you have to think about, okay, what do we do? Do we keep going or do we stop and just scrap it? And obviously they decided to keep going because apparently Brandon Lee, he didn't have a whole lot left to film at that point. So they just used stunt doubles, some digital effects to finish it. And so eventually did release. Apparently Paramount was supposed to distribute this movie, but because of Brandon Lee's death, they dropped it. They just said, "Yeah, we don't want any of this." And so Miramax came in and distributed it. So it came out in 1994. Its run was pretty solid. It was a nice little hit. It had a production budget of like 23 million, made over 50 million in the States. Apparently, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page and it made like 94 million. So this number is not accurate, but so 94 million, obviously it's not a blockbuster, but still a nice amount. And the movie was well received and has received a cult following, which has persisted to this day, which is probably why people, were so real quick to trash on the new Crow, because people have fond memories of the original movie. So, yeah. So, the original movie and its reputation, even with the tragedy, the real life tragedy surrounding it, that first movie's reputation, I'm going to label that as a pro. Absolutely. And when it comes to other pros, I don't think there's anything. No, 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 there's nothing. Okay. Cons. Every Crow movie that came out after the original, okay, none of them are good at all. So let's go through those. First, you have The Crow, City of Angels, which came out in 1996. And the reaction to this movie was not good, and no one gave a damn about it because it only opened with like less than 10 million, and then it had a very loaded run, which, I mean, look at that thing. These numbers are like crazy for 90 standards. This was back in there in the times when movies would have long legs. They go on for weeks, months, even. Not this movie. It was a one hit wonder, a one weekend wonder, and then it fell off the face of the earth. And now no one remembers its existence. So, yeah, obviously, the sequel, City of Angels, was a total flop. But it only got worse after that because the next movie, The Crow's Salvation, it was supposed to be like direct to DVD. Well, actually, it was supposed to be theatrical, but because City of Angels was so bad, they said, "Fuck it, you're going straight to DVD." And yeah, I'm looking at its Wikipedia page. What? Hold on. What? Huh? Kristen Dunst. What? Kristen Dunst. She was in this movie. Really? This came out in 2000. This was fucking. This was like several months before Bring It On, and 2 years before Spider Man. Like that's. I did not know that. Holy shit! That is a new piece of information to me. The more you know, I guess. So that's wild, but yeah, the movie was obviously no good. But it got even worse somehow after that because then you had The Crow Wicked Prayer, which apparently was in theaters for like 1 week. I don't even know why they bothered to do that. And just look at the DVD cover. It doesn't even look like a professional movie. It feels like some, I don't know, some like student film or something. It looks bad, dude. You got Tara Reid in this thing, so with her involved in the movie, it's gonna be peak quality. And yeah, obviously the movie was panned by everyone, and then that was the end of the franchise. It was like untouched for years until the most recent Crow movie. So yeah, any Crow movie that's not the original con basically brought the whole brand down because of all those shitty movies. So yeah, that's a con. Another con is that this movie right here. Okay, so this movie, when the trailer released, the reaction was not good from what I remember. It was pretty bad, mainly because it didn't help that original movie is so like beloved, and seeing this and seeing how very much this was not like that original movie at all, not even in a good way. People trashed this one and they're just like, what the hell is this? Like, so yeah, and the movie was never able to like shake off that that initial reaction. It was never able to prove anyone wrong, and actually it ended up proving people right that this was going to be a trash reboot, and lo and behold, judged by reviews, it is a trash reboot. So yeah, that initial trailer reaction, that's a con. But another con is that this was like in development for a long fucking time. Apparently, according to look at its Wikipedia page, the film entered development said in December of 2008. 2008, man, like gosh. And this went through like development hell. A lot of directors and actors like were just in and out of it. Now I'm looking at showing like a list where like, Jason Momoa was considered, which is weird to think about. It's even weirder than him being Aquaman. But Bradley Cooper, I'm sorry, I cannot imagine Bradley Cooper as a goth. Just him as, I don't see it at all. I don't know what the thought process around that was. Yeah, but it just kept going and going, and you're just wondering, like, is this thing ever gonna come out? Is this thing gonna get made? Eventually it did. They found Bill Skarsgård to, be the Crow. And it was filmed 2 years ago, and now it's coming out now. So yeah, development hell like that's not a good sign at all. And what's really not a good sign is that this thing was supposed to come out in June of this year. Yeah. Probably forgot. This was supposed to come out June 7th, same weekend as Bad Boys Ride or Die. So obviously, Lionsgate, they at a point they had high expectations for this because why else would you put this in June, right? But then suddenly they say, you know what's going late August. And that move right there told me that this was probably not going to be a good movie. That just showed like a real, like their confidence was shot. And they decided to just move it to like a slower time, a more, one could argue like a deader time for movie going because like their confidence was just shot. It was gone. So yeah, that date change was like a sign that it was going to be bad. So we got labeled that as a con. Just the studio's blatant lack of confidence in the movie. So that's a con. Another con is that reviews for this movie. I mean, the fact that I was checking like a Thursday to see when the tickets would pop, not tickets, God no, reviews would pop up, and like for like we're talking like midday on Thursday, I saw no reviews, and I'm just like, yep, this movie's a disaster, isn't it? And yeah, I mean it's not as bad as Borderlands, but does that really mean anything? Because it has a 21% critic score, which is terrible. Its audience score is comparatively better, but not by overwhelming amount. Has a 63% audience score. They're calling it the popcorn meter. I'm still gonna call it audience score. Its cinema score is way higher than I could have guessed because it's a B minus. I thought we were gonna see like a D or an F with this movie. So a B minus is a pleasant surprise. That doesn't mean it's good. That's still not a good score for a movie like this, but it could have been worse. Could have been Borderlands, but yeah, so obviously critic score terrible. Audience score, cinema score not good. So those are cons. Another con says Thursday preview numbers are pathetic, especially considering this is you think this will have the easiest time with Thursday previews because it's already based off a well-known property. So it has you think if there'd be a bit of like a fan, it'd be like it's a fanboy effect, if you will. But because all the fanboys they just said hell no, and they just dipped, which was probably for the best considering this movie's the reaction this movie is getting. So yeah, these preview numbers are pathetic for its genre, and they paint a very grim picture this weekend. So yeah, weak Thursday previews. That's a con. Any other cons? I guess just the fact the competition is just there's a lot of movies out right now. Well, not a whole lot, but you're better off watching Alien Romulus. You're better off watching Deadpool and Wolverine. Hell, you're better off watching It Ends With Us. Okay, those three movies have been making August a decent amount of money. And The Crow is definitely not going to do that. So, yeah, just there are way better options out there. Let's just say that way better options. So that's a con. Any other cons? I mean, you got Bill Skarsgård. Let's go through the cast real quick. I guess we can talk about Bill Skarsgård. I mean, he's not really much of a con, but I wouldn't call him a draw like at all. I mean, he's been in some notable movies. John Wick Chapter 4. He was in the Eternals. Was he? I don't really remember that. But he was, Pennywise in the It movies, which were great. Well, I've only seen the first It. I didn't see It Chapter 2. But yeah, his Pennywise was it was something. Like it was ooh. I'm not saying that like in a bad way, but yeah, his Pennywise was kind of just real unsettling. But yeah, I don't think he's like a draw in this case. I don't think he's gonna make people. He's definitely not gonna make people watch this thing. So I guess his presence not really a. He's recognizable, I guess. So I guess that's kind of a minor pro. I guess I don't know. Then there's again another con is that this weekend it is so boring, dude. It is so uneventful that I'm contemplating as to why I'm even making these videos because it's just so just uninteresting, aggressively uninteresting. But this was doomed to happen because every August, you reach a point where the studios where they give up, they throw their hands in the air and said, "Okay, that's it, summer's over." And it took a while for 2024 to reach that point, but this weekend we've hit that point. We hit the dog days. We've hit the point where going to the movies is just not worth it, and it won't be worth it until like a few weeks time when like Beetlejuice comes out. So we're kind of just stuck with a bunch of blah movies. So yeah, just slow times at the box office. That's a con. And I think that's it. So opening weekend, I was thinking maybe this could hit double digits. Now, no, no shot at that. No chance in hell. So I'm gonna say between 5 and 7 million, judging by these preview numbers. 5 to 7 million opening weekend. It's total. This is not gonna have long legs at all. I don't see it lasting after Beetlejuice releases. I feel like by mid September, this movie will fade from existence. So I feel like I don't know, 15 million or less. So basically Borderlands money. The only good thing about this compared to Borderlands, it wasn't as expensive because about half as much, but still not good at all. Still a flop, but it's not as big of a flop. So I guess that's a minor positive. But yeah, this movie's it's a dud. Absolute dud, no question about it. And yeah, so that's it for The Crow 2024. We just got one more movie to talk about. That's The Forge. And then we're done for the weekend. So, yeah, so that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. You want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage. All previous prediction videos I made this year, the past few years. You want to watch any of those videos, go right ahead. There's also the canceled series. For 250 episodes, I made videos on all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. The Crow. I've talked about this movie at least a few times. Okay, 2 times. The first time was episode 235. I talked about The Crow alongside Mickey 17, Ballerina, and Untitled Guy Ritchie movie. I don't know what that is. It probably got a title later on down the line. I don't give a damn, honestly. But the second time I talked about The Crow, that's when it went from like June to August. I talked about it alongside Saw 11, Trap, Never Let Go, and The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. So those are the 2 times I talked about it. So if you want to watch those videos or any other videos I've made when it came to Canceled, all 250 of them, you want to binge them all from beginning to end, I highly encourage you to do that, so go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. August recap, that will be happening between the 6th and the 13th of September. And my summer recap, which will very much be like a 2-part recap, winners and losers, that will be at the end of September. So stay tuned for that as well. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.